Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I am going to do a video on using the quadratic formula. In particular, what I'm going to focus on is how to find the A, B, and C given any quadratic equation. All right, so what you see on the screen is this is the reference sheet that you're going to be given for the regents. And the ones that I have inside the box are the ones that you have to know how to use. So this is a quadratic. Let me circle. This is a quadratic equation. This is the quadratic formula. You're going to take the A, the B, and the C, and you're going to plug it into this formula. And that's going to help you figure out what the quadratic solution is, or the roots, or the zeros. Those are all synonymous terms. Solutions, roots, and zeros are all basically the same thing. All right, so now, so what I'm going to do in this video is no matter what kind of equation I have, I'm going to show you how to find the A, B, and C. Because once you do that, you just basically plug it into the quadratic formula, and the formula will compute what you need. Okay, so I've got 6 examples here, and what you should see is that the highest exponent is 2. 2 doesn't matter which side of the equation it's on, but if the highest exponent is a 2, then you can use the quadratic formula. But you got to know how to do the A, B, and C. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how to do the A, B, and C. All right, so let's go. First one up. Let me go get the copy. I'm going to move it here. I'm going to do number 1. So I'm going to get rid of all of these other quadratic equations. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to make this a little larger. So, all right, this one is equal to 0. Those are the two conditions in order to use a quadratic equation. The highest exponent has to be a 2, and the quadratic equation, has to be equal to 0. So we can officially check this off because it's equal to 0. And now all we're going to do is we're just going to I'm going to put it down here. This is 1d squared plus 13d plus 19 equals 0. Notice I put a 1 as a coefficient because that is the coefficient. Every variable has a coefficient. If you don't see 1, you assume it's a 1. So this is going to be 1. This is going to be 13. This is going to be a positive 19. And then you're going to plug these values in. 13 is B, so it goes in here, both places. A goes in here, and C goes here. And then basically you're just going to use your calculator and you're going to calculate the answer. All right, now let's go to the next one. Let me go get the what I need here. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little larger. And the one that I want is the second one. So I'm going to eliminate all of these other choices. Boom, they're done. All right, so now this is a quadratic because it has the highest exponent is 2, but it's not equal to 0. So we got to subtract v from both sides to make this into the form that we need. So this is going to be 3v squared. 10 minus 1, remember, is going to be a positive 9v, and then we got plus 1, and this is going to be equal to 0. So that's what we're going to put here, 3, 9, and 1. And then again, you're going to plug it into the appropriate places. Okay, I'm not going to do that because that part, once you get to A, B, and C, you just plug them in. All right, now let's go. The next one, let's see here. Let's go copy it. All right, so in this case, we need the third one. And so we'll get rid of the other ones. And let's see. So this is not equal to 0. So that means I got to add 3t squared to both sides. So that's what I'm going to do. And I got to find the like term on the left-hand side to add it to. This is going to be 0. That's why we're doing it. This is going to be a negative 2 plus 3. It's going to be a positive 1t squared plus 7t minus 4. So now we come down here. Oops. We come down here, and this is going to be 1. This is going to be a positive 7, and this is going to be a negative 4. Notice the minus goes with the 4. So, and the plus goes with the 7, but we don't need to say plus 7 because we automatically assume it's a positive 7. But the minus needs to go with it, right? And then again, you're just going to plug 7 in here. You're going to plug 8 in these two places, and negative 4 goes here, and then the calculator will do the rest. Now, let's keep going. All right, where's my next one? All right, we want the fourth one. All right, so same thing as before. I'm going to eliminate all of these. And now we got a positive 1. We got to add a positive 1 to both sides. This is going to be 0, which is what we need. This is going to be 2r squared plus 3r. A negative 5 plus 1 is going to be a negative 4. And there we go. Then we would plug our A would be 2, our B would be 3, our C would be a negative 4. Now remember, you got to be able to find the A, B, and C. So if it's not equal to 0, you got to set it equal to 0 by doing whatever the opposite is of what you have on the other side. All right. Let's go. I think we got 2 more. So let's get those. Move this here. Let's see. Let's subtract or erase all of this stuff. Erase this last one. And here's what we got. We got 5 squared equals 180. Now this one looks a little different, but it's the same idea. Doesn't matter. We have a quadratic. So we have a quadratic equation, so we can use the quadratic formula, but it has to be equal to 0, which means I need to subtract 180 from both sides. So over here is going to be 0, which is what I want. But since there's no constant over here, we're just going to go 5x squared minus, actually I'm going to go plus minus 180. Now, there's no linear term here. So technically that's 0x for us. So the negative 180 doesn't go into the B slot. It's still a constant, so it goes into C. But this is how you would do it. So the A would be 5. The B, since there's no linear term, is going to be 0. And the C is going to be a negative 180. Then you're going to plug in 0 here, 0 here. Here's going to be 5. Here's going to be 5. This is going to be a negative 180. And then again, you just use the quadratic formula in the calculator, and it'll give you the solutions. All right, I got one more. And the reason I want to do this one is on the August Regents, they had one of these questions, and they wanted you to solve it algebraically. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So basically, they've given us a quadratic equation, and they've given us a linear equation, okay? A quadratic equation, a linear equation. Now, all you should do in order to solve this algebraically is we're going to set these two equal to each other. So it's going to be x squared minus 20x plus 89 is equal to a negative 2x plus 9. Now, so now we got a quadratic equation. We took two equations and we combined them into one equation, and because the highest exponent is a 2, it's a quadratic equation, which means we can use a quadratic formula, but it needs to be equal to 0. So that means I have to get the right hand side to the other side. So I'm going to do the opposite of a negative 2x. It's going to be a positive 2x. I come over here and I add it to the appropriate term, the like term. Same thing over here with the constant. Plus 9, I'm going to do minus 9, and I'm going to come over here and add that to the constant. So what we're going to have is this is going to be 0, which is what we need. And then this is going to be 1x squared. A negative 20 plus 2 is going to be a negative 18x. Plus 89 minus 9 is going to be a positive 80. And then we're just going to plug those values in. 1, negative 1, negative 18, a positive 80, and this is going to be a negative 18 in both of these spots. This is going to be 1 in both of these spots, and a positive 80. And from here, you just use the quadratic formula, and you should get 2 solutions. And that's all we're doing. All right, so remember, any quadratic that has the highest, or any equation that has the highest exponent over 2, it's a quadratic equation. In any quadratic equation, you can use a quadratic formula, but the equation has to be equal to 0. So if there's anything on the right-hand side of the equation, you have to move it to the left-hand side of the equation by adding it or subtracting it from the appropriate term on the left-hand side. Once you get it equal to 0, you just take the A, B, and C, and then you plug it into the quadratic formula, and you are done. All right. I'm going to stop and post, but I am going to do some examples showing you how to use the quadratic formula. But this is just to show you how to find the A, B, and C. Hope this has been helpful.